Heaven high, heaven high. Okay. Peace, everybody. Heaven high. I hope everyone is having a good day. 1 second. Rise and shine if you're just getting up. Today, I want to talk about binary coding and the zeros and ones, the masculine and the feminine, the sperm and the egg, the male and the female, specifically dealing with human mammals. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar, a mammal is a being that breastfeeds from the mammary glands. Now, the 0 and the 1, a lot of people, even in the science community, have it misconstrued. So, Baba is going to share the fullness with you guys. Hopefully, it can help you in your journey. Now, when you think of a seed in the earth, the seed is literally the 0. The earth is the 1. The seed is coming from the nothing. The earth is the something. So in essence, the earth is actually in a more dense expression of life. So this is all correlated to masculine and feminine. A lot of times when people become awakened, they start to feel like the black woman is God, or some people feel like the black man is God. Now, we all know that God encompasses all things. Though within the illusion of separation, there's definitely an order. Definitely. This is what religion was trying to share, though along the lines things got tricky and the lines got blurred. You see, with the illusion of separation, the order starts with the masculine, the 0. Because right after the nothingness, the illusion of something is that masculine, and then it becomes something. Let me simplify what I'm saying. A sperm is really like actually non-existent. An egg cell is actually like, I was about to say an earth cell. An egg cell is actually like a denser expression in comparison to the sperm. Now correlate all of this to the 0s and the 1s. When you just look at life and your eyes can actually see, give thanks to the eyes that can see. And you look around into the universe and you really start to sight the universe for what it is, and you can start seeing the codes. You can literally see the 0s and the 1s. Everything is dealing with this numerological pattern of your mind. And once again, the order starts with the illusion of a masculine entity before it even becomes feminine. Now, we know they're one and the same in the circle of life. Everything is one. Nothing is better or worse. I'm simply talking about the order. No different to how a seed is not better than the tree. Though the tree is not better than the seed, but before you can have a tree, it starts with planting a seed. Now some would say, wait, but Nikosi, what are you talking about? In order to get the seed, don't you have to have a tree which is then gonna give you another fruit with seed? Let's go to the order. Where did that seed even come from? Think about this. The 0, the nilch, the actual like nothingness of the unified field. So I'm gonna share something with you guys that you will never ever read in no doctrine, no teacher on the internet or sage or guru or any of these people will tell you. I don't need any credit. I'm not looking for fame. Baba is just showing you the literal, like, mirror that has been shined upon, so everything is more clear. I don't need you to praise me. Start to realize things, have real eyes, and then that's all the credit I would like, is to see people actually see shit for what it is. See things for what it is. Pardon my friend. Now, what I would like to share with you guys is dealing with the XY chromosome. Remember how a lot of times, like, feminists, and not just feminists, even a lot of these woke men and women in the world, they start to promote this black woman is God thing, and they'll tell you, like, that's why the X chromosome is like 3 or however many times sizes bigger than the Y chromosome, and like the mass of it is larger than the Y chromosome. Now, I would like to share something so simple and so pure. It's straight from the nothing, because I'm the seed of life, and so are you, if you can remember. The Y is smaller in mass because truly the Y doesn't exist. The X is more dense. Once again, we're going into what's more dense, and then the Y would be in a more light, etheric state. This is why when you have a child, everything starts off female. For those of you that have children, at least we're dealing with mammals right now, human mammals, that type of animal, right? As a zygote, during the development stages in the fetus, during the gestation period, everything started off female. Now, to all of the males that's tuning into this, let me tell you something. Did you know that you're actually balanced? Because now we're talking about balance, right? We're talking, if God is balanced, and we're gonna touch on the illusion of separation. That would mean that God is everything. It's not just a man or a woman. Though the order of God started as male, and then it's actually like, or the male created the idea of a male-female and all of those illusions. That's why they tell you that the man carries the gender in his seed. Now let me really simplify and crack this code so I can blow your top off to really just pour something in your cup. A man has been female and male. If every child started off as a female first, that would mean that me and every other man has been female before. Think about that. But females that are only females, they've only been female. Think about this. In this current life experience, a male has been both female and male. Because first he was a seed, which was nothing, and then made a choice whether it was going to be female or male. So that means even when it was a female, it started off with XX, and then due to some hormonal reasoning, out of nothing, the Y comes, which is then going to bring the feminine, masculine, the XY, which is masculine and feminine and masculine. So now that would mean that the male is actually like in his fullness, so he's fit to actually be the head for his family or his immediate clan, if he's in his righteous lifestyle. So I want to repeat that. Now share this with your people, because listen to how simple this is. The XY is actually dealing with balance. The XX is just straight feminine, and it's more dense. Actually, females are designed to be more fit to like being down to earth. Like, they're actually dense. That's why some of them, if they're not really like walking in their spiritual truth, they actually get attached to the world easier than men. A lot of times when men get attached to the world, they're doing it off the strength of a female. Think about a church. Most times in a church, you got a church filled with more women than men. Even if you look at my spiritual walk, it's females that support me more than males. females get, like, they're on Earth. Males is somewhere else. Like, they're like fiery, airy kind of vibes. Like, men, and once again, I'm not saying men are better than women or women are better than men, because everything is God. In fact, you're looking at it. What I'm saying though is that within the illusion of separation, there's an order. We're dealing with the zeros and the ones. The one is that egg cell. It's more dense. It appears as something, but really and truly, even that egg cell came from a sperm cell. Some will say, what? How is that possible? The woman is the one giving birth to the child. How is the man giving? I'm not saying a man is birthing a female. I'm saying a man is manifesting a female or male, which is what God does. An XX chromosome with that genetic mass and structure is just far more attuned to a third density level in comparison to a Y. The Y actually represent Yah, which is what the Hebrews would call the Most High. Even the word Yah, the acronymical break up of that word, actually means you are heaven. Same thing with Jah, just as heaven. It's actually just reminding you that you must have heaven on earth. The kingdom of heaven is within I and I. It's within you. And even a you is two eyes linked at the root. Once we get to our roots, we see the einity. I would like to repeat that one more time for you guys to really let it, like, really plant properly. Every zygote starts off in female form. Even this expression of the Most High. When Nikosi was incarnated, and during the gestation period, Nikosi was in female form first, with XX. Now, due to some kind of genetic astrological phenomena, Nikosi then shedded some layers off of one of his chromosomes, the X1, to turn it into a Y, to now be female and male, meaning feminine and masculine. But where did that Y come from? It came from the zero. The X is the one. Meditate on that. So, males, y'all really gotta come into yourself and stop being dead. And if you really just that far gone and you just a zombie, I pray for mercy on your soul. Even when you think of the word male, that's a delivering. That's a message. The male is given a package. It's a giving of something. So when the Y comes into play with the XY, the Y is actually the factor that's going to give the fullness. That doesn't mean every man is God walking. Because obviously, you know, God creates good and evil. So some of these men is actually like just devils. I'm simply saying the order within the illusion of separation. Everything, it goes from male, female, male, female, male, female, male, female, with the illusion of separation. Just like how the earth is actually a manifestation of the sun. And the sun carries a lot of masculine principles. That does not mean I'm anthropomorphizing the sun or the earth, because we know that everything encompasses masculinity and femininity. I'm not saying that the sun is a man. I'm not saying that the earth is a woman. I'm saying, generally speaking, I'm sure that we can all agree that the earth encompasses a lot of femininity, and then the sun is kind of like masculine. The earth is a manifestation of the sun. The earth is like the egg, and then that light, those electrical charges that come from the sun, is literally like the electrical conduit that they label as sperm that's within semen, that comes straight from the cerebral spinal fluid, because it's coming from the cerebral cortex, from the spine, and the kundalini energy allows that thought to just invoke the nothing in hopes that it can become something. So males, y'all gotta, as males, with great power comes great responsibility. Remember the previous video, I was speaking on responsibility. A lot of times people feel like they're responsible parents because they have their children in school and buying all of the new gear, the new video games, the new toys, letting them go to church, the mosque, temple, the masjid. And not once was these parents responsible enough to give their child the truth. They give the child everything else. Now me, I attempted to practice what I'm preaching in every child I have. Does that mean that it always go how you want it to go or hope for it to go? No, life is filled with trials and tribulations. That doesn't mean that you break and you become broken. We're not broke people, we're rich. When you have eternal life, your riches is like, you can never go bankrupt. So, to the males that got eyes that can see, to the eyes that can see, I really would like to remind you, yo, keep growing forward, come into yourself, come into your fullness, because you have a responsibility to not only lead yourself, but to lead your loved ones and those that see the leader in you. I'm not saying be leaders like these different world leaders, these governments and politicians and pastors and preachers. Those are bleeders, those aren't leaders. Yeah, my mama tell me that. Big up, mommy. Those are bleeders, those are not leaders. Some people think I was leaving my children. No, I was leading my children. If I stay in hell, my children gonna repeat what they saw Baba do and mama. Come on. So, females, come into your position where you're more receptive. Be like the earth. Receive. Let somebody give to you. Let somebody give you instruction. The structure in. But then again, I can't bash only the female. Y'all males is like, y'all really comfortable. Field niggas. That's why you'll be like, yeah, I'm in the field. You are. Have you ever seen a runaway? Have you ever seen a runaway? Yeah. Well, you looking at them, and it's not to come off in an egotistical way. The ego is there to show you your mirror form so you can have your own roar. Because me one I feel roar, I don't need nobody to roar for I. So if I come into my lion self and I'm on the hunt, you can do the same. No fear. Be willing to feel the humility and let people talk. Let people make fun of you. The female is there to receive the male. The male is there to give to the female. And as far as roles are concerned, the male is the protector, nothing more, nothing less. The female is the nurturer, nothing more, nothing less. Religion has turned it into provision and submission and these different things, and we can still utilize them in a way where it's still mirrored after the natural order. When it comes to mammals, the females are the ones that feed the children. Mammals. I'm not talking about spiders and snakes, and I'm talking about mammals. When you breastfeed, the female is the one that is dealing with the food aspect. But in the world, they teach you that the man gotta come put bread on your table in an apartment that he rented for you. And that's the provider. No, 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 no. A true provider is a male that's a protector. Somebody that can protect you spiritually, mentally, physically, in every way. That's provision. Provision is when you make preparations, when you're prepping the rations for your family. A safe area, a space where the female can now go do her gathering and foraging. That's what mammals do. Actually, over 98% of mammals are polygynous. Now I'm going into a different lane. The other 2% of the time, the females are promiscuous and they'll go sneak and be with males. But really and truly, the female, she never has like a actual family, a balanced family where she has multiple male partners. Only time you see that with mammals is when the female is sneaking and just secretively doing it. The male is, you normally see a male mammal having like an actual family with 2 to 3 to 100 females. Once again, this is dealing with the zeros and the ones. Now, don't let the matrix become a mind tricks. Don't get so caught up in the illusion of responsibility to the point where they got you responding to a bill. That's what a lot of y'all think y'all doing. That's why y'all think y'all responsible, because you respond a bill. Every time you get a bill, you on point. That's what responsible is in your farm. Think about that. Response a bill. A response to a bill. No, we must be response able. Willing and able to literally submit. Yes, submit to the will of life. Now, to finalize what I'm saying, I may have to do a part 2 to this, because this one goes deep and it's not something that I'm going to rush into like a live stream or even like a pre-record video. This is something that's like, I've been talking about this with my family for a minute now. And I was asked to do a video on it. I hope that some of you guys can fetch far, because I know that it may appear far-fetched. This is why the male is there to be the head of the family. He must be Christ, as the Bible says. Just as Christ is the head of the church, and the church represents Christ's bride, that would mean that Christ has many different partners. A congregation is actually pretty big sometimes. And if the man is the head of the woman and the woman is his bride, or several women are his bride, that would mean like, whoa, that man gotta be godly, because even in the Bible it tell you that the woman gotta submit to the man just as she submits to God. Rewind. Remember I said Jah is just as heaven. Yah is you are heaven. The kingdom of heaven is within the eye. Yes, man. XY chromosome. Now, I'm gonna really finish now. Some would say that, oh, it's so much to say, but then again, it's nothing to say. Less is more. I've said a mouthful already, and hopefully it's a lot of food for thought for you guys and gals. I do want to say this while I have this final thought for this current video. I would like to say this. some people feel like, wait, but the Bible's or even the Quran is telling you how female came out of a man's rib. You see, don't get so caught up and take things like from a surface, like face value, basic. Well, no, basic is good. Simplicity is good, but don't be dumbfounded, because then that would mean that you're found to be dumb. When it's talking about like the female or the feminine energy coming from the male, it's like dealing with the atom and then the Eve, the mitochondrial Eve gene. Atom is atom, and then you're dealing with Jacob's ladder and DNA and how different. You know what? Listen. Really and truly, you are everything. I'm simply doing this just to touch on the illusion of separation, to show you the order. In life, we must have order. Order is necessary. It can really be used for the greater good, but you got to be able to sight the full picture. Don't be stuck in your mind frame. Think outside of the frame. The picture goes far. Yo, we have to have sight, vision, envision, not end vision, envision, the vision within. So that's enough for today's video. Like, comment, share, yeah, man, and think about this. Meditate on what I said with the XY, the zeros and the ones, the masculine and feminine, the male, female, the seed, the earth, the nothing, the something. Because light and darkness is one and the same, which is all dealing with nothing. The light or the darkness can manifest into what appears to be something. So let's keep on growing forward. Peace. See gold.